Good evening from Charleston, South Carolina. I'm gonna finish a full day of Southwest flights by taking the Dash 700 over to one of Southwest's major operating bases, which is Baltimore. This is the new Charleston scenery. On an earlier flight I landed here from Austin. This is a really good scenery by Dominic Design. It has the Boeing factory there in the background, as well as the airlift wing C-17s in that part of the background. But you can see that there's some bleed over of textures. The stock satellite textures that you see when you zoom in and out of the Microsoft Flight Simulator map when you're selecting your departure airport or your arrival airport, it's actually overlaying the current night scenery. So I'm sure this is something the developer can fix very easily, because again, my verdict on this airport, just having flown into it a few minutes ago and I'm about to depart from it, it's a very good scenery. So I'm sure this little defect we're seeing here can be fixed easily. I'd be surprised if they cannot fix it, so hopefully they will. So we're gonna go back to the flight deck. Another thing I've been testing today is the update to the Universal Flight Tablet that PMDG published last night, which I really like so far. They really added some nice features that I'll talk about again in case you didn't see my first video, or you haven't seen some of the other videos explaining the what was updated last night. Okay, let me go into the tablet, because what we're gonna do is import our flight plan from SimBrief to the FMC, which is gonna be, okay, I already did it once, so none is going to be, which is a great way to save time. Also gonna zoom in here to show you where we are here in Charleston. And also let's get our weather. Well, let's request for data from SimBrief. So when we request data from SimBrief, we get Southwest Airlines flight 737. We are going from Charleston to Baltimore. Alternate airport is JFK. Right now we have a westerly wind at 3 knots in Charleston. Clear skies, altimeter 3016. So, talking about the feature, I have my FMC set up for requesting the flight plan. So here's the new feature. Again, I love this. Request, and here's a SimBrief route. So I no longer have to go into this bucket of PNG flight plans and trying to figure out where my flight plan is. It's going to have my latest SimBrief route ready to go, which is, again, this is great. So SimBrief route here. I can set my payload. I can set my fuel. And now I can select the route. I'm gonna pull up the OFP here to see if everything matches. OFP is estimating me to be at 133,456 pounds during takeoff. So let's load this up and see what happens. So if you go to my settings, let's see what our payload says. See, right now I have 134,000 pounds of gross weight. This is perfect. This has saved me a lot of time just inputting numbers into the FMC. So yeah, great job PMDG. I really like this update. And with the current weather, let's see what the flight plan says as far as runways are concerned. So it has us run at a runway 33. Okay. So we'll go ahead and set that up. Runway 33. SID will be Sierra Whiskey Papa Foxtrot X-Ray 3. Transition Foxtrot India Lima Lima India. In Baltimore we are expecting runway 33 left, Raven 6, which I'm assuming is named after the Baltimore Ravens, the American football team. We're gonna transition before over in Tango Hotel Hotel Mike Papa, and let's see where this other transition point is located.
Charlie Bravo Mike United 1389er.
So Juliet Alpha November November Sierra. Let me see where that fits into the flight plan. Gonna go ahead and execute. Okay, so they... Yep, okay, they line up correctly. Make sure there is route continuity here. Correct headings, yep. Okay. So yeah, I definitely saved a lot of time by not having to tell the computer by not having to input in the computer how heavy the aircraft is, how much payload it has, how much fuel it has. It was already able to get that from SimBrief. So again, no longer have to save it to some folder on my flight sim, on my community folder, wherever it's located. So definitely a big improvement. And I mentioned that the other improvement is, for example, right now I'm landing on runway 33 left, but let's say for whatever reason we get a runway change. If I input any runway changes, any flight path, flight plan changes overall, when we're looking at our main map with the flight path, it will modify it accordingly. So right now we have another northerly takeoff. But again, if I had to take off to the south, then it will start pointing to the south and showing the points to connect to build that flight path. So two very key updates. I really enjoy them. My wish list is to give me not just a north up map, but also an aircraft up or aircraft orientation map. And since we still are waiting for a Sorbo to have some kind of a working weather radar at PMDG acceptable standards. In the meantime, it would be nice to be able to overlay Navigraph's weather radar on top of these maps, so at least we have kind of a workaround for not having a real weather radar. If you go to the Navigraph webpage and you open up your charts, you can overlay cloud data, precipitation data. So yeah, it makes for some semblance of a weather radar while we wait for the real deal. Okay, so we have all that entered. We're gonna get into our performance here in a few minutes. Just gonna continue setting up here. I need to request my data, my performance data, that is. And also, in the meantime, I can start setting some parameters here. So runway 33 departure. I want optimum flaps and optimum rating, so I'm going to import my aircraft data. Packs on. That weight of 133.9. Current weather as well. And this will result in flaps 1, TO1 setting, assumed air temperature 45 degrees Celsius. That'll have us rotating at 135 knots. We have a 700, so that makes a lot of sense. That all lines up. So we'll load our performance data here, execute it, and what was the temperature? I have very bad short-term memory. 45 degrees. We'll fix that in a few minutes. Take off. We'll go to center of gravity. That matches 17.9. Yep. Flaps 1. So we have 132, 133, 138. 134, 135, 138. Oops, I forgot to do TO1 mode. So let's try that one more time. So we want TO1. Okay, so 134, 135, 138. 134, 135, 138. Okay. So we'll go ahead and enter these. So let's see what's going on at Tango Hotel Hotel Mike Papa. It's a fast speed, I guess. So we're gonna need... Okay, I can just bring the speed down a little bit. It looks like this part of... yeah, Baltimore, you're dealing with 3 different airports there. DC National, Dulles, Baltimore, so there seems to be a bit of a holding altitude here during the initial approach or during descent. So these slower speeds make sense. The slower speeds and the altitude restrictions is what I'm trying to say. And it was an even lower speed? Okay, we'll go to 244. Looks like we're going to be at 390 the whole time. Let's get the APU running, so the fuel pump is already on. Open up the bleed.
Charleston ground, Southwest 140 taxi to the gate. Southwest 140 taxi to gate Charlie 4 using taxiway Alpha Golf Cross runway 33 Charlie Bravo Mike. Taxiing to gate Charlie 4 via taxiway Alpha Golf Cross runway 33 Charlie Bravo Mike Southwest.
Initial heading 334. APU is online, so let's switch to APU mode. We'll get our tug connected. Okay, we are ready for pushback. And zoom in here again. Taxiing over to runway 33 is what I said we were going to do. So this is going to require us to follow taxiway Alpha over to taxiway Charlie, and then be on runway 33 and be on our way to Baltimore. In my video before this one, when I was parking in Charleston, I took the aircraft down to the Boeing plant and back, so you could see a lot of 787s that the Dominic design team included in the scenery. It looks very nice, so a great job to them. Okay, we're all set to go, so let's push back.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead.
Charleston ground Southwest 737, could you please disconnect the jetway from the aircraft?
Roger that. Ready for push straight back. Release the brakes, please.
Okay, brakes off.
Brakes released. Brakes released. Here we go.
Alright, engine number 1. Number 2, correction. Starting engine number 2. And starting number 1.
Pushback complete. Parking brake, please. Brake set. Steering pin is pulled. Watch for the salute and release from guidance on your right. Have a good flight.
The controls check. Fully up check. Fully down check. Fully left check. Fully right check. Fully centered check. Rotor right check. Rotor left check. Flaps 1. Setting trim to 6.74. Before taxi checklist. Generators on. Packs auto, probe heat on. Isolation valve auto. Start switches continuous. Flight controls have been checked. Ground equipment is clear on the right and clear on the left. We are ready to taxi. Before taxi checklist complete. Before takeoff checklist, flaps 1. Trim 6.74 units. Before takeoff checklist complete. we're having the same effect here of some textures on top of the scenery's textures. It definitely looks out of place, but again, I would be very surprised if the developer, in this case Dominic design team, can't figure it out. It should be an easy fix. It's distracting more than anything else because the airport has very good quality overall. And another one of my wish items is for Asobo to give us a more realistic night effect. Even with the full moon, the sky is not this bright at night. It should be a lot darker because we're seeing essentially galaxies, stars, gas clouds. You can see that if you're in the middle of the Atacama Desert up in the mountains, just a high elevation away from city lights, but this is way too unrealistic. But in the meantime, we'll just, I guess, pretend it's like dawn or dusk time with this lighting. Does anybody know of any enhancements to make the night skies more realistic in flight sim right now? I would love to know. And there you can see the silhouettes of the C-17s. So that's where the Air Force Base is. So they did a great job. I've been to Charleston quite a few times. So I definitely think they did a very good reproduction of the airport. Okay, let's get on our way to Baltimore. Check.
B1, rotate. Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. Retracts off. Flaps up. Okay, LNAV engaged, VNAV engaged, going to Command A. So we have a northeasterly flight track. The current landing on 36 left will have us make our final approach turn over Annapolis and into Baltimore. There's always a possibility that the runway could change to 28, but it'll still be pretty much a straight track into Baltimore. There's going to be minimal turning on the way there. So let's get back to our current position. Right now it is 017 Zulu, expecting to be on the ground at 0120 Zulu, so another hour and 3 minutes of flight time. Passing 10,000, landing lights off. So once we are on descent to Baltimore, we will resume the video. See you then. Okay, we are over the nation's capital region. On the left of the airplane is Washington Reagan National Airport, and just below the plane here is Andrews Air Force Base, so that's where all the presidential transport, VIP transports for the government are based, including the famous 747 modification that whenever it's airborne with the president inside the airplane, its call sign is Air Force One. There has been a runway change. We need to switch over to runway 28 for landing. So we're going to do that. And we're also going to be holding temporarily at Raven. There was a lot of traffic going into Baltimore. So I want to see how well separation is working with FSTL. They advertise SID and star usage and better separation than, if you recall, the FSX and P3D when we had ultimate traffic, for example. There was a lot of traffic stacking on top of each other, so two planes coming in simultaneously, one having to go around. So it's supposed to be a little better with FSTL. I've only had FSTL a few days and I'm really enjoying it, and remember, it's freeware, so I would recommend donating to them as well. So let's make those changes. The good thing about having a good runway, it should be able to show us the capability on the map of how the flight track will change once we put in a new runway. So right now this flight track is for runway 33 left. So now we're going to put in runway 28. Okay, let's see if the runway change is reflected. Yep, it sure is. So here's the new flight track. So yeah, this is a great feature to have, no doubt about it. So I said we need to hold at Raven, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. And once see all this traffic ahead of me, they're also gonna land in Baltimore on runway 28. So I really don't want to have to reset the traffic. I want to see how well we can sequence. If it doesn't work out, I'll go ahead and reset the traffic.
010 is passing 14,000 feet, descending 2,000 feet.
And again, we are in real life. This is very busy airspace. We got 3 major airports.
210. Spirit Wings 2010 Washington Center altimeter.
So separation timings, it's very important.
Continue as planned. Delta 49er Tree 6, contact Washington Center on 133.9er. Good day. Climb and maintain flight level 210, Brickyard 5768. United 1747 traffic is 8 o'clock, 4 miles at 17,700 feet, Boeing 737. Report them in sight. Spirit Wings 2308 traffic is 9 o'clock, 4 miles at 13,300 feet, Emperor. Report them in sight. United 1747 have the Boeing 737 in sight. Going to 133.9er, Delta 49er Tree 6. Washington Center, Delta 49er Tree 6 is at 14,900 feet, climbing flight level Tree 50. Delta 49er Tree 6, Washington Center altimeter, Tree 0.16 continue as planned. Delta 49er Tree 6 traffic is 7 o'clock 3 miles at 16,300 feet, Boeing 737. Report them in sight. Delta 49er Tree 6 have the Boeing 737 in sight. Washington Center, Delta 637 is at flight level Tree 50 climbing, flight level Tree 50. Delta 637 Washington Center, continue to Juliet Foxtrot Kilo as planned.
And let's check some performance data. So landing
Jet
now
146,
at
contact
runway
Washington Center
28.
on 133.9er. Good day.
Aircraft data imported. We're looking at flaps 30.
United 1747
Normal reverse
traffic
operations.
is 1 o'clock 4 miles at 15,300 feet, Emperor. Report them in sight.
Current weather in Baltimore. Altimeter 3019er. So very close to what we had in Charleston. And let's see this calculation for, want to look at the airfield map. We're going to be in the B gates. So to give you an idea what Baltimore looks like if you've never been there.
Southwest 430 have the traffic. Southwest 430, contact Washington Center.
So Southwest we usually be at the A or B gates. Every time I go to Baltimore, I usually fly Southwest to and from the B gates. But again, also the A gates. So if we're landing on runway 28 with auto brake 3, we can definitely exit on runway 33 left, but I'm going to assume the runway is also in use. So I want to exit in Romeo 1, if not on Gulf. That'll have us very close to the terminal. So I think auto brake 2 should be okay for the calculation. So we're going to go ahead and assign auto brake 2. Calculate.
Frontier Flight Tree 785
Yeah, that's plenty of room,
7 miles southwest.
and that should get us very close to the terminal.
Descend and maintain 11
VREF will be
feet.
138.
ILS runway 28 approach. JetBlue 2332 Washington Center. Continue as planned. Frontier Flight 3784. Descend and maintain 11,000 feet.
We get our heading preset here for the 285.
Washington Center Southwest 430 is passing 14,000.
Now compare the altitudes for the runway. So threshold on 28, 126 feet. So we will put 150 on landing altitude.
United 1571, contact Washington Center on 133.9er. Good day. Going to 133.9er, United 1571.
It seems like all that traffic that was going into Baltimore is no longer there, so let's see. I'm probably gonna exit the hold here very soon.
Frontier Flight 3784.
So in the meantime, okay, we got our landing lights on.
Washington Center, Frontier Flight 3784, 11,000 feet. Frontier Flight 3784, Washington Center altimeter 30.16, continue as planned. Frontier Flight 3784, contact Potomac approach on 128.7. Good day.
So make sure we're doing everything on our descent. We got our landing altitude, no recall, everything is good. Outer brake 2. VREF is entered, and our minimums will be 200. We talked about the approach already. We get one more altimeter reading when we get clearance. And let's look at our frequency now. We have a new runway. So heading is 285. We need to tune frequency 1097, 109.7.
Going to 128.7 Frontier Flight 3784. Washington Center, Frontier Flight 3784.
Same here.
11,000 feet.
109.7.
Washington Center altimeter
Great. So that's tuned in.
30.16. Continue as planned. JetBlue 146
Start strapping in here for landing.
Washington Center on 132.05. Good day.
Okay, and like I said, I'm gonna exit this holding pattern very soon. We've been airborne an hour 6 minutes.
Good day. Southwest 2864 traffic is 11 o'clock, 4 miles at flight level 185 Airbus. Report them in sight. American 1009er, contact Washington Center on
And we're gonna exit the holding pattern
25. Good day.
and continue our descent.
128.7.
Now we're going to flight level 02. Okay, so 2,000 feet. And we'll get our speed down to 200.
Washington Center, Brickyard 5635 is at flight level 270 climbing, flight level 330. Brickyard 563 15 Washington Center. Continue as planned.
So we can already see Baltimore Harbor. You can still see the water outline in the city, as well as the airport.
2995. Southwest 484, you are 300 feet above your assigned altitude. Descend and maintain 16,000 feet, altimeter 30.16. Descend and maintain 16,000 feet southwest 484. Southwest 430, contact Washington Center on 132.05. Good day. United 1571, contact Washington Center on 132.05. Good day. One tree 2.05 for Southwest 430.
So I'm seeing 2 aircraft lining up for runway 28.
United 1571.
So I'll also see if I can I'll try to control the separation
Contact Washington Center on
from my end as well.
132.05. Good day. Southwest 484, you are 300 feet above your assigned altitude. Descend and maintain 16,000 feet, altimeter 30.18. One tree 2.05 for Delta 49er tree.
So the runway on the left was our original landing runway, and the one on the right is going to be our new runway, runway 28.
Southwest 484.
So I'm counting 1, 2, and 3 aircraft are look to be heading to runway 28. So let's see if we fit.
Qatari 708 climb and maintain flight level 210. Southwest 22901, contact Potomac approach on 119.0. Potomac approach Southwest 22901 is at 7,200 feet, descending 2,000 feet. Southwest 22901, Potomac approach altimeter 30.16, continue as planned.
Baltimore Tower Southwest 737 is 20 miles southeast 3,500 feet with whiskey to land.
Southwest 737, Baltimore Tower. Altimeter 30.16, wind 294
Flaps 1.
at 11. Make straight in runway 28.
Make straight in
Altimeter
runway 28 Southwest 737.
30.16 copied. Approach checklist complete.
Final. Wind 294 at 11. Clear to land runway 28. 119.0 Southwest 401. Clear to land runway 28 Southwest 2337. Baltimore Tower Southwest 267445 miles east inbound ILS runway 28 approach. Southwest 2674 Baltimore Tower. Altimeter 30.16, wind 294 at 11. Cleared ILS runway 28 approach. Baltimore Tower Southwest 3588 ready for departure runway 28 IFR to Savannah. Southwest
So they're using 28 for both departure and takeoff.
16, wind 294 at 11. Traffic is on final. Cleared for takeoff runway 28.
I'm highlighting the independence of the first officer flight deck, but I also wanted to kind of dim the cabin a little bit more. That original mode was making it too bright inside the cabin, inside the flight deck.
Southwest 1256, wind 2902 at 11. Clear to land runway 33 left.
Oh, now we're using 33 left again. That was our original landing runway. So the traffic over there is landing on 33 left.
Left southwest 1256.
And with the winds coming out of, yeah, 31 now, that makes sense. I don't plan to change runways. I'm going to commit to runway 28.
Cleared ILS runway 28 approach, Frontier Flight 378.
So we'll be dealing with about a 30-degree difference.
Cleared ILS
It'll be
runway
mostly a
28
headwind, a little bit of a
approach,
crosswind.
Southwest 430. Hold short runway 28, Southwest 3098.
And let's see, we have an ILS signal yet? No, not yet. So, looking at our speeds,
Baltimore Tower
2000.
229er 123 miles southeast, inbound ILS runway 28 approach. Southwest
Flaps 5.
229er 1 Baltimore Tower. Altimeter 30.18, wind 29er 2 at 11. Cleared ILS runway 28 approach. Southwest 2255, go around.
So lots of go-arounds happening. And there is one plane ahead of me, which means they're gonna make us go around. So it's time to reset the traffic. No problem. Let's go ahead and reset.
2255, contact Potomac approach on 119.7. Good day.
Got the runway in sight. Waiting to intercept the glide slope. I like to fly manually as much as possible, so I'm going to just go ahead and configure for landing a little early so I can concentrate on getting the aircraft safely on the ground. So continuous start switches, yeah, they're on. Arm speed brake, let's get our gear down. We're going to go gear down, flaps 10. And flaps 15. So once we hit flaps 30, our landing checklist will be complete. Okay, I have control. When the airplane wants to climb, I always notice that when I disengage the autopilot, the nose pitches up a bit. I'm trying to make minimal corrections here before I start the glide path. Just waiting for the diamond to intercept. Okay, we got red and white PAPI lights. Going to flaps 25.
Southwest 737, wind 29er 1 at 11. Clear to land runway 28.
Clear to land runway 28 Southwest 737.
10.
Speed breakup. Reverse swing. Man, you're braking.
Southwest 737, turn next taxiway.
Okay to clean up.
Southwest 737, contact ground on 121.9er.
Going to 121.9er Southwest 737. Baltimore ground, Southwest 737 request taxi to the gate.
Southwest 737 taxi to gate Bravo 4 using taxiway Romeo cross runway tree left Papa Tango.
Okay, Bravo 4.
Giant tree 727 heavy hold position caution the Boeing 737 on the taxiway.
Taxiing to gate Bravo 4 using taxiway Romeo cross runway tree left Papa Tango Southwest 737.
Baltimore ground Giant tree 674 requesting pushback. Giant tree 674 pushback request accepted. Brickyard 5679er hold position caution the Airbus on the taxiway. Hold position Giant tree 727 heavy. Hold position Brickyard 5679er. Brickyard 5679er.
Yeah, ever since I downloaded FSTL over the weekend, I'm glad to hear all those cargo call signs. I was using the payware FS traffic, but there was absolutely no cargo flights or GA flights. So I'm enjoying FSTL a lot more. Great variety. I haven't felt an impact on my frame rates, so it's definitely giving me a lot more realism. And again, it's freeware, so if anybody complains about it, just don't download it, get rid of it. But I really like it, and I'm just gonna donate money to them. It's a great effort. Much appreciated.
Roger, Brickyard 5679er.
Alright, let me double check where Bravo 4 is located. It's been a while since I landed here in real life.
Giant tree 674 requesting the end of pushback.
Okay, Bravo 4 is gonna be almost right in front of us, except we gotta find a taxiway to get over there. So
Roger, Giant tree 727 heavy.
we're gonna use Papa Foxtrot Tango.
Giant tree 674 with whiskey ready to taxi IFR. Giant tree 674 taxi to and hold short of runway 28 using taxiway golf cross runway 10 Romeo cross runway tree left Papa uniform 1. Contact tower on 119er decimal for when ready. Baltimore ground southwest 2539er.
This rendition of Baltimore is thanks to Ricardo over at Latin VFR. And Ricardo has embarked on an Airbus series of projects. He's got the Neo series, he's got the A330 Neo now. So best of luck to Ricardo. He knows I'm a Boeing fan, and he knows my I use a Boeing yoke and Boeing throttle, so I'm not quite ready to make a transition to Airbus, but I definitely wish him the best. He's made some great sceneries, and I'm glad he's doing well with the Airbus project.
Giant tree 674, hold position caution the departing Boeing. Hold position Giant tree 674.
So I mentioned during departure this is a very busy Southwest base, which explains the amount of traffic coming in and out. I intentionally made that holding pattern knowing there was so many coming in. And even with the holding pattern, even trying to line up correctly, somebody snuck right in front of me, so I had to reset the traffic. And again, no problem with this make-believe functionality. But I hope really one day we get to a point where traffic sequencing is closer to the real world, so we can all land and take off within the most realistic parameters possible. And there'll be a go around once in a while, but not with the kind of frequency you see on Flight Simulator. Okay, so brakes set. Should I call it a night? Yeah, I'm gonna connect the ground power. We're gonna wrap up flying for today. My day has included Midland, Austin, Charleston, and now Baltimore. So I kind of have had a day in the life of a Southwest air crew. So we'll get our ground services. Get our GPU connected.
Giant 3674, hold position, caution, the departing Ember.
Okay, so
Giant 3674,
shutdown.
continue taxi.
Going to ground power.
Giant 3674, hold position, caution, the departing Ember.
Anti-collision off. Seatbelts off.
Hold position, Giant 3674.
Window heat off. Probes off. Hydraulics set.
Giant 3674, hold position, caution, the Airbus on final.
Okay, so I won't do a full shutdown. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the IRS.
Hold
So I'm calling it a
position,
day.
Giant 3674.
So we have our jetways connected. Yeah, this is a very nice rendition of Baltimore. A great job by Ricardo on Latin VFR. And we'll request our ground vehicles. So we need some baggage support. With our carts also. And we'll open up the main door. Okay, all set in Baltimore. Thanks as always for watching. So if you're using PMDG, I hope you're enjoying the new tablet features, and there'll be another set of updates of new features in about 3 or so weeks. I really like the plan that Robert put out to keep this tablet vibrant. I'm really enjoying it since it debuted at the end of October. Yeah, I'm coming up on 4 weeks of tablet usage, and there's already been 2 updates. And Robert also mentioned what is happening to that poor galley truck. Robert also mentioned there'll be also bug fix type updates, so any cleanups usually a week after a tablet version is released. Okay, so right now I'm actually in the DC area right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and have some family time before I go to bed. So we'll see you very soon. Take care.
Baltimore ground, Spirit Wings 1781, request taxi to the gate. Spirit Wings 1781, taxi to gate Delta 8 using taxiway Romeo 1 Romeo cross runway 33.